Field reports from the strange. This is Obscura Bureau.
Probably when the day runs and the sound starts, I'll start practicing too. Probably this content will be posted on my No, what? So I already had a series, 9 episodes, focusing on the task of emotional maturity, as we two sisters have been sharing from earlier until now. So we'll talk together about the moment we realized we needed emotional maturity. But the audience won't know who you are. So could you say about 2 sentences to let everyone know who you are? Well, hello everyone. Hello everyone. I am Mai Wabbing. I am the founder of New Mantra Wellness and Retreat. That's right. Lower third. So, I think the connection between us 2 sisters was already there. It's very deep, very warm, very. The connection is more about inner thoughts that is so conveniently here. We're talking about emotional maturity. So earlier it turned out I was blunt, because I'm very interested in the question, what the moment was like when I realized I needed emotional maturity. As for me, I've always been praised. I'm being praised, right? As someone who is lively and speaks skillfully, charmingly. And I always feel I'm awkward, out of place. Sometimes when I talk, it just sounds, and sometimes when I look back, I see that this sentence I say, if the listener isn't careful, the sentence I say might break everything. It's no longer a conversation, but because at the moment I realize that the words I say, sometimes they're a bit rude. My confessions sometimes don't come across. I realized I wasn't mature, and not maturity in my body. I'm already 30 years old this year, but it's out here, focusing on tradition. So the first thing I did, when I realized that, was that I looked in the mirror. And my emotions at that time were very bad. I didn't even recognize the guy in the mirror. I felt very disgusted by that person. It really was like that. When I quieted, my mood is down. And you look into that. You see someone trying to appear happy, trying to appear humorous, because he thinks humor will make many people happy. And you see that. That's the psychology of the youngest child, because no one in the family listens to him, so he has to show something to create a prominent image. He wants to be respected in class, because his acting isn't good. So he has to show something for people to notice, while actually he doesn't need to be like that. You see that. Yourself in the mirror. There are many things you need to correct a lot. So you started your mindfulness journey, and became more emotionally mature. Started asking more questions to yourself. That's just you. I see in your sharing. There are 2 extremely mature expressions. Don't know why. First is you talk, but then you think again. The result of what is your conversation? Then that is also an expression of maturity. If lacking maturity, then we will not think again about the result of those stories. Second is you have reflection. Have reworking with your inner self to examine what your true nature is. Who is the person in the mirror? Then I think that is also a quite mature moment already. Right. I praised you, so you should thank me a bit. Actually, because the reason why you looked in the mirror at that time. How? Because you just went through a big arc, quite big like love. When you were scolded. Say it straight like that. You will get such results. When you get scolded for having too big of an ego, congratulations on that. Because you're active on free social media, so when you're active on free social media, it makes your ego inflated. And you have already realized that. You try very hard to suppress your ego, how to be yourself. Instead of being a superior entity to up, but realizing that it's not enough. And perhaps it will never be enough. And during the time you went to the temple, you talked to the monk to learn more deeply about thoughts, responsibilities. Then the monk also said, that is the greatest purpose of life. That is to control the inner ego. Because sometimes we are not the person we should be. Many times we are an animal, a wild beast, with very savage instincts. The thing when we are human, it is our emotions and feelings. We must find a way to be human and not beast. After hearing that, I felt very profound. I want to control my ego. Asking still isn't enough. I am still in the present moment, in the process of finding out. Until when? Until when will we truly mature? I was also about to ask how no one is enough. No, I. Probably we need to ask the teacher more about it. People who understand more than us. But what about you? What do you feel? Truly need to follow this path. Need to try experiencing, Actually, back in high school, I was quite a faded girl. Because at school, different from now. Usually people who just met me now would think that in high school, I was a prominent figure. But in reality, during high school, I was quite bland. And the reason for being bland was that, at that time, I felt that my value system was completely different from therefore, I felt quite out of place. I felt like I was the black sheep. So naturally, I sat back. I wouldn't participate in the kinds of groups or things that they were pursuing. Those values didn't align with what I liked. Until I started the journey that I thought was, oh, I need to stand out more. Then at that point, I started to become blooming. Then I just really fast. It was like what I lacked during that teenage period. At that time, I thought that I was doing the opposite to prove that I was something different. Exactly at that moment. That was the time when I was an extroverted person and had many friends. Even started to gain followers too. This and that, and there were people who admired me as well. Then naturally at that time, I suddenly realized that those values weren't what I truly liked. So it was like I was swinging from that panic. I slumped from this side to that side, and gradually I found it at the balancing point in the middle is where my true value lies. And one of those values is that I desire is a kind of meaningful life. And that is a reason is that I hope to be able to slow down life more, all to align with one's own self. Actually, the version of oneself is just, then I realized that. But I had to try. Right? That's right, I had to try what it looks like first, then I'll know that. Actually, it's not like that. Try to find. Perhaps it's the moment. Probably. The age of belief, right, the rebellious, and now I see that. Myself, you know. I see my current sincerity. I passed the age of belief already. I've passed the 20s. I passed the age of naive dreaming. I see that. I see myself as very understanding and like. There are times, you know. I don't know why I have thoughts like this. There are times when I talk to others. I suddenly get stuck. Realize that. Why do they have thoughts like this that I find difficult? Not because it's about regret. Not because I think I'm not smart. Then what kind of thoughts are those thoughts? Regarding the matter is one thing. Two is how they love others. There's a part of me in my self-exploration. Then I have also spent quite a lot of time on figuring out why I have responsibilities. Really must say, for me, I myself have responsibilities for those is the lover, parents, and the family of the lover too. I love them, so there are times when I suddenly think about them and want to give them some. For me, it's a responsibility. As for my own greed, his family is there. The whole family depends on him. And everyone. Sharing always means people are quite He is the youngest child. He's like me, the youngest child, and yet he still has to carry everyone. Kwong had to grow up before his time. And there are times when I ask the question, why do you have to do that? You can be a bit selfish. Take care of yourself. Because these people are completely capable of working. Completely able to manage their own lives. Why do you have to meddle in everyone's business? That's the argument between me and him. S why you don't. You haven't understood. Because you're a lonely person. Lost and alone, your family has just so you have no one. As for me, I'm surrounded by this person. You and I suffer the same, but the suffering is you have no one, so you had to find family. Well, I have family, so I had to avoid them. I ask many questions like, why does it have to be like that? That's what I just told you. Why do we have to be like that? Not that but I just want to understand the reason. Then after an argument that lasted the result is, he's not a meddlesome person. But for him, there's a certain principle. In life, that's all. No matter what, it's still family. Always allowing. Second, third, fourth, fifth. The principle is very Asian indeed. Yes. So for me, I cannot bear that ideology. I myself cannot do it. I'm like that too. But now I understand. Through stories. When talking and communicating with others, I can understand each person's uniqueness, their life principles. One coin can buy many things. Why can't I think like that? Why can't I understand that? I have to gradually experience it through specific roles like this. So I feel I still. Because this is still very small. Because it's not big enough. Not mature yet. That point is exactly the point. That creates interest on each person's path, right? Like, I must have moments like that. I then see different perspectives. Sometimes. You also know that I am even. My friend have reached consensus or not, but even without that consensus, I still have the perspectives of people coming from completely different circumstances than me, and that also makes the depth of my perspective will be more comprehensive. Because that is something that necessary for the process of maturing in my thinking. As for you, you empathize with that argument. Because that argument, it happens within your inner self. Actually, there is no friend. Because you have also lived abroad for some time, and your inner argument, it's about the value between Asian family values and values. The people are in the South, West. It's always such a phrase. Question means like, what does it mean to be nosy? And what is irresponsible? Right? So, when I was a child, I just feel like I can't. Where can one find a voice? Good for both sides. Because there are things that truly are. You cannot limit yourself. But in the name of care and love, then I had to force myself to expand yourself. Let me. It seems like everyone is flying. However, there are times when you can't handle it anymore, and I kind of take care of myself. And I focus on the self-development is. And then there's the thing where I consider that to be irresponsible. To live is only for oneself. So then what is the point? The equilibrium point. Then when you realize the point of balance, then you also feel that I have matured in my thinking. Just a little bit more. I need time to slow down. Truly understand that. This is the point I want to make. This is what I truly want to give. It's not that it stems from the fact that I need to be like that or I should be like that. Well, that's one. That is a reason. Not enough. But the most sufficient and balanced reason, at that moment for her. Overcoming the controversy. The inner thought is that I'm doing this. It's because I really want to do it. And because of love, I lose my way. I care, so I lose my way. Not to make myself please others. But caring is very important. Keep it in mind then. The perspective. Viewpoint, the way I observe. Perspective is perception. Lies within the mind. Only today. Notice how the word care is analyzed. How? Like the mind's perspective. In the mind, you see that caring is actually loving. When I care about someone, I love them. And the word love sounds so low. Since people feel it somewhat, love seems hesitant. Somewhat quietly instinctive like you. As a mother, as a child. It's a physiological need. But as humans, it's much deeper. Sometimes love isn't a physical sensation. Love is having something so terrible that I'm willing to accept all trade myself many times. Just because someone needs. I can't explain it. That's the extraordinary thing about humans, right? That's something I often wonder why. I had to struggle like this. Break because I love. I love to the point of madness. I keep the pain as baggage. But confession, someone's feelings in the heart, then I can forget. But you still keep the feelings. But earlier I was also speaking unfinished. The matter that you feel will also need to continue. At what point will we become? Sometimes the viewpoint would be an area. Then I was speaking unfinished earlier. I said, there's capacity for giving and receiving. At that time I didn't have the capacity to receive that. I always had to focus on that. Because spouse is first, then become parent. Only after the older child went to school. In this gap, it's too long and I forgot who I am. I don't know what kind of person I really am. It's very crisis-like. So many people at this point. There are many emotions of young families. Having children, then separating with leading to anger, family breakdown. There was a lot of advice at that time. I find it very uncomfortable to hear. You're still young now, break up. I was really uncomfortable. Is that really true? Why is that? So I was also very confused. For everyone. When is maturity? In marriage or at what time? In marriage or at what time? In marriage or in thinking? In life? This is just my personal opinion. Just personal opinion. I just think that when you become more mature. In thinking, that's when you dare make decisions regarding responsibilities that you're not really ready for. The first thing is timing. The timing was when I was 23 years old, and I also got caught up in romance. Then I also thought about, like, whether I was ready for marriage or not. At that time, I was also kind of FOMO. Then saw these friends also follow the trend. Graduate and start working. Usually after graduating and working you start wanting stability. But after that, looking back at myself, at that time, you weren't ready for that responsibility. And you can't just follow everyone. Doing that means being an adult. Doing that means maturity, then we should move. That was a moment when she felt she matured at age 23. Only at that time. And after that there were also times I truly reflected on myself and realized that there were decisions I wasn't ready for. I'd rather say no, which might hurt some people or make them dissatisfied, but that wouldn't cause harm to those who usually they truly deserve a happier life. Instead of saying yes and dragging them into a decision that I cannot clarify. Sympathizing, this heartfelt confession. I deeply sympathize with that confession always, because I with my girlfriend of 11 years, or in the 11th year. I've been here since the kids were still in kindergarten. Now the kids come up to ask. So many people look at us and say, why don't you get married? It's been too long, like Sophie this say. But I feel that when there are too many external voices, like women's age, having children, or pressure, I turn back to look at my woman and ask myself what's in my head. Do I marry her because of her? Or because I need a woman in my life? A big question, huh? So, at that time, many people ask like that. Many people in movies also say, just get married and get it over with. Wearing is, you guys go ahead and get married. Prison will just go and you'll arrive. Just have a lot and it will come. I hear you preparing. I must prioritize overcoming with everyone. I know for sure that we don't have a mission to change their viewpoints, and that moment was to protect our little family. I had to tell. Green here is. You marry me, you marry me. But there are things where the timing is like stars. But only when two people support each other should two people support each other and feel comfortable. But there are many people. Propose. In the crowd. Then what if the girl says no? Very foolish. Very inappropriate. Feeling forced. Can't say no. But if we say no, it's very awkward. For example, the system is very okay. The system is. Just like that for about 2 to 3 more years. That's right, because this guy is in a hurry. His turn to the question of hurry is. So then. When I can think like that. I understand that. When we completely accept the next step forward. And we feel happy about it. Ready for it, that. We play the bigger school game. But not now because we've been together for a lot. Not because we're at that age. Not because we're in a hurry. Because of family and elderly people. I see that. Rather than. Read together, we just rush with each other and then. The last thing when we look back and naturally. So then. On the outside I still often tease. Cut what? And sometimes I'll confide in everyone. If I give him time, it would be fun too. Say anything about someone who I said, hey, I was just joking around a bit. But actually what I meant to say is, I really sympathize with the issue. Marriage decision should come at 9. 9. Here I need 9 o'clock. So, from my perspective, I clearly understand what you're going through. It makes me feel relieved. As for me, the 9 o'clock moment is when I feel I can wait for consensus from both sides, right? There's another moment about myself then. A 9 o'clock moment of mine. I'm already 9, so now I to enter marriage already. So as long as he feels comfortable, he's fine. So he hasn't been ready to accept. For me, the transition from girlfriend to marriage for me, now it's just that paper. Without needing much process. His family really loves me. Loves me in a way that really makes me want to cry from happiness. I feel very fortunate to meet people that kind in life. Right, that's the luck. Suddenly in life there are strangers. Strangers who don't know who I am, but treat me like a child. And treat me like their real child. For them, they don't think. Many people think marrying off a daughter is but this family gains another son. And I see immediately, I'm extremely happy. So I'm comfortable. I'm very okay with that. Suddenly I gave another mother, another father, extremely happy. But she wasn't ready yet. Now, I have to play the role of a wife, definitely must save. Until both of us are ready. Next, I'll do the obvious thing. But fortunately, you too have great teamwork spirit. If at that time, I could find a way to have moments when both are okay. And you also think that people, even though strangers, no relationship, blood related to each other, but they still love me like their own child in the house. That's a manifestation of happy people. They're full of love because they have too much, so they can share. Just need to consider whether that person is blood related or what's the reason I love them. But simply they feel truly in their heart they can share that love. Then that is also one thing. Fortunate that I belong to such an environment full of love. I see that family works very hard, and like that, every shared meal cooked. But in the eyes, I see I work hard for this moment here. Taking with a photo cannot capture. Must be present there. I love it so much. Talking with your sisters is really fun. Sincerely, feel more fortunate. I'm really lucky. I thought I was very unlucky until I was accepted into that house. Excellent. Catch a bit of that feeling. That feeling. Black hue, I don't know if you feel that when you share it back. At the moment I want to wait a bit so that the girlfriend can have a moment of agreement. What I mean is when everyone gives you advice, then you think like, I just smile like that, but I don't think that advice is for me, but I still follow my own emotional flow in my head. At that moment, I think everyone loves me. Everyone advises me. They advise like that. They love me. They advise me. They want. Oh, I see you're suffering so much. You should have a little happiness in the family. Because that's what happened to them. I've completed my part. I sent emotional images to my sister. Just me. I understand. The world in your position. Because we joke about the fish but saying it's really fun, right? Then I understand their intention. I understand their words. I understand they advise like that not because they are mean or anything. They care about me, so they say that. So I accept. I smile because of that. I smile because they are like. They hold a heart. They show up for me. I'm like. I love you. I love you. Thanks to you sharing that perspective, I've been able to feel a lot. Sympathy for those who give out life advice to me. Because of that black logic, I would be like, but I don't want to have that. Life is like the advisor. Therefore, I will not accept that advice. I will think that each person's life has different values. That's not advice and not ask. Something like that. If I don't understand you, then it must be my fault. Is that what you said? I grew up in a family where loud scolding, words of love. So when I hear words of love, I go that is love. There are sentences disguised by scolding but with great love. Scolding in an affectionate way. I can understand that. I understand very well. Because in my head I always think like this, their intentions. I can connect with, I can understand. So the words they speak, I have a built-in speech filter. For example, just now, they told the two of you to get married. It's been a long time. In my head I never thought about the words. I never thought about the words. I think that I see you two love each other very much already. Loving each other would be fun. Have a wedding or something. You two desert each other. Love each other and get married. I feel happy. Because in their eyes, we are the embodiment of happiness. In their eyes. So I get confirmed. You two loving each other creates happiness. I think that hill is still over 9, right? It's like I can establish. Truly. What is their hidden motif? Does it originate from love or from hatred? After this, you need to reflect on yourself. Please reflect on and evaluate yourself. After that, we need to talk about this matter. You don't need to say any more. Rest assured. And now, perhaps it's time to end here. You don't need to stop to talk about this. Not hungry, just being clingy. The whole group is waiting here. Burn the message ending? This is Hong En. People just don't know. What is the message now? On. Yes, what is the message? 9. Message 9. 9 in love? Blame Mr. Booty for no reason? Are you kidding me? Congratulations, everyone.
If the report helped, subscribe and open the next case.